Broadcasting live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. And why the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Every team sucks if it's not the New York Giants. And welcome to the Gridiron. Thank you. Anybody going to spend any time at all watching this at all? I greatly appreciate it. If anybody's going to spend any time at all watching a replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, as I try to do every night. Sometimes it goes a lot longer. I had one almost an hour the other night, but it's because I was responding to some people in the chat box, and it's always great bringing it since we're talking about the chat box. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free, throw it away, fire away in the chat box. I usually try to check on a chat box. I get it like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if something gets put in there, as soon as I see it, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free, fire away, throw it in the chat box. Plus, it's nice to talk to people instead of me just yapping on for a half an hour straight. So please, once again, please feel free. Fire away. Throw it in the chat box. Before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. The description box is a top link in the description box. It takes you to my membership page. Now, I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one's called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. There's loyalty badges. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each loyalty badge is a different Giants helmet. Okay, so the older the Giants helmet is that's associated with your name, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet associated with your name, you've been a supporter of my channel for a long time. And there's 4 emojis. Eventually, there will be a 5th emoji coming up, but right now there's only 4. I had them made up on Fiverr. I crack myself every time I look at them. They're pretty cool looking. You can use them, in the chat box if you're making a comment or something like that. So I said eventually there will be a 5th emoji coming up, but right now there's 4 of them. So anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please feel free and go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. Whatever you got to lose, right? Right now, I tell you what, probably, not going. By the end of tomorrow, I might be at 6,000 subscribers. Right now, I'm at 5,958. What did I start the day with here? 5931. So I'm at 27 subscribers for the day. Yeah, 27. I've gone up 27 subscribers. Pretty much like ever since the Giants season's ended, I'm still getting like 30 to 40 subscribers a day. So it just went up another one. I'm up to 59. So now I went up 28 subscribers for the day so far. So I'm close to getting another 30 for the day. So right now, I'm 41 subscribers away from 6,000. A couple weeks ago, I got 5,000 subscribers. And I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd actually get 5,000 subscribers. But I'm close. Hopefully by the end of tomorrow, I might be at 6,000 subscribers. So if you're not, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, right? What do you got to lose? It's free of charge. And to everybody who is subscribed, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And then finally, also in the description box below, okay, there's there's 2 links, 2 Facebook links. The top Facebook link takes you to a group I have, okay? It's a New York Giants Gridiron. My page, my Facebook page, my Facebook group, and my YouTube channel, all is the New York Giants Gridiron. That way, an idiot like me can remember everything, all right? So I don't get everything all mixed up. But right now, we have over 2,300 members in the group, okay? I try to post. I put by 5, 6, 7 different things in there so far today. I'm not done. I'm going to be putting more stuff in there. A lot of things I put in there today. Stuff we're picking on the Eagles. I tell you, I can pick on the Eagles 24/7, 395. If you know what I'm saying. I got one here, but it's got a picture of Nick Sirianni crying. Well, this basically was when he was crying, at the national anthem. He's getting all emotional, everything, which is cool. Guys freaking all fired up to be in the Super Bowl and everything. I gotta love that. Gotta respect that. But it's got a picture of him, and it says on top says, because he's crying. He's the coach of the Eagles. He's crying. It says, when you blow a 10-point lead to a quarterback with one leg. Oh man, I'll tell you what, I'll be picking on the Eagles, especially for losing the Super Bowl, for probably till the day I die. I absolutely freaking love it. Absolutely love it. All the crap they talk and this, that, and the other thing and everything. Just there's also a picture of Tupac Shakur in here. You got to forgive my stupidity, but he's got a New York Giants hat on. He's got his arm around, I guess, his girlfriend. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if he was married, girlfriend, whatever. So please forgive my stupidity. But there's a picture of Tupac Shakur in here with the Giants hat on. There's a Lord of the Rings thing here with picking on the Eagles about only having one ring, stuff like that. There's something about with Brian Daboll. The Giants lost, which I'm going to go over to their running backs coach, DeVonta Smith. There's all kinds of stuff going on here every day in the group. And the nice thing is, if you become a member, all right, you can post stuff in here as well, too. So, there's a ton of New York Giants. I try to put at least 10 different things in here every day. A video, a picture, a post, anything. I try to, a ton of stuff in there every day. And then also the bottom Facebook link in the description box takes you to my page, New York Giants, the Gridiron, the page. Now, I just went up to 2,900 followers. Yesterday, the past couple of days, it was at 2,800. So now we're at over 2,900 followers. We have 625 people who like it, over 2,900 followers. This one's going up like every few days. It's going up like another 100 followers. This one is really taking off. This one is just doing absolutely freaking phenomenal, the New York Giants, the Gridiron, the page. Now, it's the same thing here. I try to put like yesterday, one thing I put out, it was a fantastic finish that happened. It was between the Giants and the Cowboys, 1986 season, right? The Giants were up 17-14. The Cowboys had the ball. It was a couple minutes left to go in the game, and they kept driving down the field. And there was 6 penalties thrown on the final drive itself. It was just absolutely freaking crazy. A couple more on the Giants. Most were on the Cowboys. The Cowboys had the ball at the 27-yard line here. They're in field goal range. But then what happens after this is Steve Pallor, who's the backup quarterback because Danny White got injured, he comes into the game, takes a snap. George Martin beats the left tackle. The right tackle comes around and gets a sack. And now Pallor, now they have the ball around like the 42-yard line, I think it is, 42, 43-yard line. So it takes them out of field goal range. So, it was a big, huge game halfway through the 86 season. The Giants wound up holding on. The Raphael Sepchian tried to kick a 63-yard field goal at the end of the game because we wound up being 4th down. The kick was short. So the Giants wound up holding on 17-14. The place was going freaking bananas. It was going crazy. So that was a huge victory for the Giants. One of those victories that really helped propel the rest of their season, right? Because they beat the Cowboys that game. The following week, they went on the road. I believe they beat the Eagles by the same score, 17-14. Then they went on the road again into Minnesota and beat the Vikings 22-21. 3 freaking really tough games that they won. The Giants won all 3 of them and really helped get them going. Once they got over with these games here, they really started playing like big boys. They started playing big time after these games. So, I put stuff in here every day. Between the page and the group, like at least 10 different things, videos or posts, stuff picking on the Cowboys, stuff picking on the Eagles, a picture with some stats on, all kinds of stuff. Now, and I don't commingle the two. So basically, whatever I put in the page, and I'll put in the group and vice versa. So if you go to the page, you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, between the two, you're going to get a ton of New York Giants stuff every day. And it's pretty much, it's all different, right? So go to the page, like it and follow, go to the group and become a member, and you get a ton of Giants information every day, 7 days a week. As I always say, if you're not satisfied, you get your money back guaranteed. All right. So with all that stuff said and done, out of the way with here. The Giants, I think, well, they finally lost one of the coaches. What it is what it is. Now, it's, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they lost their running back coach, DeAndre Smith, to the Colts. Shane Steichen, who was with the Eagles. Okay. Now he's with the he's the coach of the Colts. So he took Smith with him, but one of the reason why he took Smith, I think they were at UNLV together. Yeah. Steichen and Smith worked on the same UNLV staff in 2009. So basically what it was is, Steichen's trying to round out or build his staff. So it probably won't be a lateral move. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Dable would wind up blocking him being if it was a lateral move. He might be running backs coach and something else, offensive assistant coach or so, whatever, so it may not be a lateral move. Usually, I mean, if you got a lateral move, not everybody, but most, I'm going to say, coaches or organizations kind of frown upon that. Some guys ain't going to stand in your way. If you want to go, you go right ahead. You know what I mean? So as far as right as of this second, okay, not exactly sure what his title is with the Colts, but DeAndre Smith is gone. But if you look at DeAndre Smith's track record, all right, he's 54. He's been 22 years coaching in the college ranks. This is his first year he went into pros. But if you look at his track record, he does not stay places long. Actually, with the Colts, this will be his 14th different team since 1999. So you got what? What the hell would that be? 24 seasons, I guess, from 99, I guess, maybe the 24, whatever it is, 24, 25 seasons, from 99 to 2023, right? So this is his 14th team now. He's been with Indiana State, Northern Illinois, Miami of Ohio, New Mexico, UNLV for 1 year with Steichen, the running back. He was running back coach, right? So that was the 1 year he crossed paths with Steichen, right? Then he went he was at Northern Illinois. Then he went to Illinois. Then he went to back to New Mexico. Okay. Then he went to Syracuse for 3 years. He went to Purdue for 1 year, North Carolina for a year, Utah State for 1 year, Texas Tech for 3 years, for the Giants for 1 year. So he's not going to be with the Colts very long either. I mean, you look at his track record. If he's there for 3 years, that's a long time for him. So he'll be there probably for a year or two, and he'll be someplace else. So is it a loss? Well, yeah, because you got to look at it for the most part. I mean, I think the Giants did reasonably well with their running game. I mean, a lot of it's got to do, obviously, it helps if you have the offensive line and this, that, and the other thing. But all things considered, we didn't have the best offensive line in football. We did not have phenomenal weapons to throw the ball to. Okay, so the anybody with a good defense, all right, could kind of shut down our wide receivers or kind of dim what they could do, nullify a little bit what they can do, all right, and maybe pay a little more attention to our running game. And we still did a very good job running the ball. Now, obviously, of course, a lot had to do with Daniel Jones as well, too. Okay, but the Giants had, what do they got? Yards, 2,519 yards for the season. So, I mean, they did very, very, very good job. They averaged almost 150 yards a game running the ball. All right, now, as I said, once again, a lot of that had to do with Daniel Jones. If we had Craig Morton, okay, I'm sure most people listening don't know who, but Craig Morton was a statue. He came in halfway through the 74 season. He was there for 75 and 76 with the Giants. He's one of the guys. He played on 3 different years for the Giants, and he played in 3 different stadiums: 74 the Yale Bowl, 75 Shea Stadium, 76 the new Giant Stadium. But he was a statue. Okay, if we had Craig Morton back there, all right, the Giants' run game would be a lot worse. But I mean, with the offense that we had, line and all that and everything, we did a decent job. Breida averaged 4.1 yards a carry. Gary Brightwell, 4.5 yards a carry. And, of course, Saquon, 4.4 yards a carry. All right. So, I mean, all a decent job. I mean, who we got? Breida had 20 receptions. Of course, Saquon had 57. Brightwell had 5. So, 77. So, we had 82 receptions from the running backs. Not bad. It's not setting a world record, nothing like that, but 82 is not bad. Okay. So, I mean, he did a decent job. Now, there are other running back coaches. Absolutely. I'm going to Dan Dierdorf your asses, right? There's a plethora of running back coaches out there. So, I'm sure there's somebody. Now, we had the one with Judge. I can't remember the guy's name, but he came from Alabama. He was a very good, right, running backs coach, came from Alabama. So, I mean, if we can't get somebody in the pros, I'm sure there's somebody in the college ranks that would probably be more than happy. But the nice thing about Steichen taking Smith, taking the coach right now is, Smith right now is it's relatively early. The college season just got over. Okay, he didn't take him halfway through July or something. He's taking him early now. So Dable, I'm sure he's got his Rolodex and Joe Shane and all. They got their Rolodex of guys that they want to talk to or whatever. And I'm sure this is one of those things that, if Shane doesn't do it, he has other people doing it. The season's over with. We might lose a coach. Let's get 5 or 10 names, okay, on a Rolodex. All right, guys, let's get whatever, Case Henderson goes. Let's get secondary coach. How many? Let's get the top 10 secondary coaches maybe in college or whatever. Let's get some wide receiver. Case Grow goes. I'll get a wide receiver coach, right? Get 10 best wide receiver coaches. I mean, so that way when somebody does wind up leaving, because it's a turnover, and you don't want to hold anybody back. You know what I'm saying? Like if Kafka's he's calling plays, but if he's going to want to become a head coach, you go get him, Tiger. Same thing with Wink. I mean, it's if nobody gave Dable a break, right? Or I mean, if he didn't move up, he wouldn't be a coach. So it happens. It's part of life. And guess what? After 2023, hopefully, if the Giants have a good season, guess what? They're going to lose another coach or two or what? It is what it is. But I mean, I'm sure they got guys on Rolodex. I'm sure they'll have somebody filling in, for a DeAndre Smith within a matter of time, right? So I mean, it's at the end of the world now. But it seemed like he did a very, very decent job for the New York Giants. But as I said, same thing. I'm sure he's not going to be with the Colts very long either. I mean, he doesn't seem to stay with anybody very long. So it's not the end of the world. But then I want to go to the other thing was, obviously one thing the Giants need, right? Now, I don't know if they're going to get a number one this year, right? It's a building process, okay? A little piece of the puzzle this year, in 2023. Can we add another little piece of the puzzle in 2020? I mean, right? We added a little. We got Bellinger, right? Hopefully we right. Hopefully the guy can stay healthy. I mean, that's always. You can get all the greatest guys in the world, but they can't stay healthy, right? But I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson, we can certainly, right, build with him, right? Got Daniel Bellinger, right? Now, is he going to be the main guy, main tight end? Or is he going to be like a little piece of the puzzle? Are we going to add maybe a little something, or are we going to try to go with Tanner Hudson and Vinette and Cager and Myrick? I mean, is that what we're going to roll with? Yeah, we'll see. But we know we got Bellinger, right? We can certainly, do a little damage with Bellinger. Right, decent tight end. Hopefully, maybe he keeps getting a little better as years go by. Right, hopefully, he gets some nice luck and doesn't break his eye socket this year. But Wan'Dale Robinson, we got Isaiah Hodgins. Okay, right. I mean, Isaiah. I'm not saying he's ever going to be a 1, but can it be a 2? Oh yeah. And I'll tell you what. I mean, if we get a 1, right, that's going to make Hodgins even better. Right. I mean, because, if you get somebody on the other side of the field, the defense is going to crap their pants over. Oh, shit. Look who's on the field. They're paying attention to him. It's going to make Hodgins even that much better. So, but, so we got at least 3. Now, I said, I don't know if we're going to bring Richie James back. Right. Now, Richie James is just, some good quality depth. Maybe somebody can return punts and all. I'm not saying we're going to bring him back. Who knows? If we're going to bring Sterling Shepard back, who knows? We're going to bring Darius Slayton back. Who knows? We got Colin Johnson, who had a very good preseason until he got hurt. But I mean, he had a very nice preseason. A couple good games. One of the games he had was it against the Patriots? I think he had 7 receptions or something. I mean, he very, very good preseason. He was looking good, tall, right? So hopefully, if he's not going to be a starter or something, hopefully some good quality depth, somebody can put on the field. Absolutely, right? And cheap, okay? Right now, yeah. Between if we got Johnson, right? But Johnson, Bellinger, Wan'Dale Robinson, Hodgins, cheap, right? But you keep hearing all this talk and everything about what about let's trade, okay? I keep because I got my Facebook group and a Facebook page, and you keep seeing so much, all these posts about, hey, what would you give up for Hopkins? One of the ones I keep seeing in the groups, is Facebook groups, is would you trade a 3rd rounder for Hopkins? Now, you got to look. The problem is, we're trying to build for the future. If we were one player away, okay, from, and you can even say the same thing almost with Odell Beckham Jr., okay? If we're one player away and we can use Hopkins, the dude's like freaking Spider-Man. Throw the ball anywhere within 100 yards of the guy's coming down with it. A guy is freaking, he is unfreaking believable. Past couple of years, 2021, he missed 7 games. Last year, he missed 8 games. So he's missed, what would that be? My spider senses tell me 15 games. He's missed 15. So basically, he's missed almost a full season in the last 2 seasons. Okay. Now, but if you go, all right, this past season, 2022, he missed 8 games. Basically missed half the season. Okay. And he still caught more passes in a half a season, okay, with the Cardinals, okay, as any Giant player. All right, he caught more passes than Saquon, more passes than Richie James, more passes than Darius Slayton, more passes than anybody on the Giants team. He caught 64 balls in half a season. The top Giant receiver was 57. I'm saying receptions. I'm not saying how many yards or not like that. Barkley had 57 and Richie James had 57. Okay, Slayton had 46. You know what I mean? But, DeAndre Hopkins had, was it 64? 64 catches, right, in half a season, right? You look at some of these, 2015, he had 111 catches, 2018, 115, 2019, 104, 2020 was the last full season. He had 115. The guy is freaking unbelievable, absolutely freaking unbelievable. Now, basically, for the most part, what do we got? Hold on. With DeAndre Hopkins. Wow. Oh, that's pretty impressive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. His first 8 seasons, he missed 2 games. 2 games, right? It's only his past 2 seasons he's had the injury bug, okay? But he's 30. He's going to be 31 this year coming up. He's going to want, a boatload of money. Would if he can stay healthy? Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if the Giants want to go that route. Especially the thing is that the thing I don't like, okay, and especially the other things with Higgins and Aiyuk, but it is what it is. Is that not only you got to give away draft capital, but then you got to pay the person. That I don't like. It's it's just. You're giving up be a 3rd rounder for Hopkins, quite possibly, okay, because he's coming off injuries. He's over 30. He'll be 31 this year. So it wouldn't be a 1st rounder for him, but but you got to give something, okay, and then you got to pay the guy, all right. But so obviously, I certainly don't think that's a route that the Giants are going to want to go without question. Now, and then of course, that winds up leading you to Mr. Higgins. Okay, now this guy, I'll tell you what, man, 908 yards in 2020. He only missed 2 games. 2021, he missed 2 games. Okay. This past season, he had 1,029 yards receiving, 1,091 yards in 2021, and he missed 2 games, and he had almost 1,100 yards receiving. Okay. What's he got? 19 touchdown receptions. Now, of course, some of that is also because you got Chase on the one side, kind of opens him up a little bit more on the other side. Okay. So, I mean, he's averaging like 13, 14 yards of reception. Very, very impressive. Okay. Just very, very good numbers. Yeah, as 3 seasons, he's only missed 2 games. I mean, very impressive. He doesn't catch a boatload of pass. It's not like he catches 100 and something passes, but he catches 5 balls a game, right? 4 or 5 balls a game, averaging 14 yards a game, yards of reception. He's very, very. He goes up, he comes down with the ball. So I said, once again, the thing I don't like about with him, okay, is that with him, it's going to be probably a first rounder, right? So the Giants are going to have to give up pick 25. Actually, because they're picking 26, but actually be 25 in the first round because Miami lost their first rounder. Okay, so the Giants will be picking 26 in all the other rounds, but in the first round, they're picking number 25. So the Giants have to give up pick number 25, and then you're going to have to dish out a new salary, because this guy would be his 4th season. Okay, I don't know if he's going to be holding out or exactly what his deal is. Let me see. He's a second round. Oh man, look at him. Jeez. Wow. He was the 33rd overall pick. So he was just barely, excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. He was just barely into the second round, but he's a second round selection. Okay. So they don't have a 50-year option on him or nothing like that. So he can, I don't know, he's going to be sitting out. He ain't making a boatload of money. Okay. He could sit out. Now, the thing is with rookie contracts is once you play 3 years on your rookie contract, you're eligible for an extension or, to renegotiate your contract and all like that. So I don't know. He's kind of holding some cards here. He can kind of, if he wants to play a little hardball, he could hold out. I'm making $1 million. You can go screw off, right? I'm not playing for $1 million a year. I gave you basically 3 1,000-yard seasons, okay? 908, 1091, and 1029, right? I'm not. That's not happening again. I'm not. We need to ante up. If you don't ante up, okay, I'm not coming into play. So he might get traded or whatever. Who knows? But it'd be interesting to see. But the thing is with him, he's not going to play anymore for his second round salary. Okay. He wants to be paid the big boys, and that's understandably so. So the thing is with the Giants, right? They'd have to trade away to probably pick number 25, and they're going to have to pay him whatever, $20 million a year. Now, if you look, the Giants do not have, right? They got, according to Spot Track, they got 43 million, a little over 43 million. That's according to Spot Track, right? Now, obviously, it doesn't mean if they sign Daniel Jones at $37 million a year, they can't sign anybody else and this and that. No, because there's all kinds of things you can do with the salary cap, right? They got 43 million, they'll hopefully maybe restructure maybe Leonard Williams' contract, maybe add another couple of years on it, maybe take his cap hit this year, which is like $32 million. Thank you, Dave Gettleman. Bring that down. We're going to probably let Kenny Golladay go after June 1st, save like $13.5 million. So that $13.5 million will pay the draft class and give us maybe a little bit of money going into the season. If we sign Daniel Jones at $37 million, we're not paying him $37 million this year. You're going to pay him whatever. You're going to give him a signing bonus. Okay. His cap hit this year. His annual average yearly salary is like $37 million, just say. Okay. This year, his cap hit might be $20 million. Something along those lines. Same thing with Saquon. If we work out a deal with Saquon for $14 million, this year's cap hit might be $8 million. So it could wind up being where between Daniel Jones and Saquon, we might only be paying those guys $28 million for the two if we sign either one, right? But if we do, their cap hit might only be like $28 million this year. Now, if we got 43 or 44, okay, that would give us 15 or 16 left over, right? We can restructure Leonard Williams' contract, maybe save another 10 there, right? It would put us well over $20 million. You can sign T. Higgins. I mean, they're not going to do it, but so I mean, could they? Yeah, they could. I just don't see them do it. I don't like the daily double there. You got to dish out, I mean, if it's a 5th round pick and you only got to pay him $2 million, sure. I mean, if you need a little depth or something, yeah, all right, okay, I'll give you a 5th. We know what we got. We know what he does. We know what he can do in the pros, right? Because a lot of times, you take a 5th round pick from college, so it's woo, nope, he's a bust. I mean, you can, get all your scouts together, this, that, and the other thing, but sometimes they just don't work out. At least if they're in the pros, you know what they can do, right? So, I mean, if it's something you just want some quality depth or something, and if it's a late round pick, the Giants going to have 11, quite possibly, but they would get 2 compensatory picks, right? That'll give them 11, right? So, I mean, if it's somebody for some good depth, trade a 5th round pick, and you only got to pay the guy like $1 million or $2 million a year or something like that, yeah, sure, right? I don't see a problem with that. But I don't see the Giants, because I don't think even if they did bring Higgins in, I don't even think, I mean, would it help them? Sure, absolutely, of course. But I mean, I don't know if he would be the final piece of the puzzle, right? And then, then you're paying this guy for the next 2 or 3 years, whatever, $20 million or so a season, and you may not want to make it to the Super Bowl. So I don't. It's the same thing with Aiyuk. I mean, my God, Aiyuk is a special guy here too. Let's see here. We got Brandon Aiyuk. There you go. This past season he had over 1,000 yards receiving. He's the same thing with Higgins. They both came out. Let me say, when was I don't even know when Aiyuk. He was a 1st round. Okay, he was late 1st round. Higgins was early 2nd round. Aiyuk in 2020 was pick number 25. 2020, Higgins was pick 32. So they were picked right by each other, okay? But the thing is with Aiyuk, okay, he's on his he's a 1st rounder. Now, if the Giants were to trade for him, okay, they could maybe have his 5th-year option available, all right? Pick that up. I'm not exactly sure how Aiyuk is standing there. If he's, kind of like, I'm holding out unless I want big bucks from. I don't know exactly what his stand is there. But he is a 1st round pick. So whoever winds up, if somebody were to trade for him, I believe they would have this would be his 4th year, and they would have to possibly pick up his 5th-year option, which would save him a lot of money. Then they could maybe sign him to a long-term contract. Okay, it's just that they do pick up the 5th-year option. Obviously, his salary goes up a little bit, but that's all fully guaranteed money too, right? So, but I mean, Aiyuk, what is he? He's 24. He'll be 25 this season. He had 78 catches last year for over 1,000 yards, 8 receiving touchdowns, average 13 yards a reception. Would he help? Absolutely. But is that something the Giants want to do? They want to give up a 1st round pick, and I'm not exactly sure if they would have to pay him right away. I'm not sure, I'm not exactly sure, but I don't know if they want to go that route, because they said, once again, they have so many other holes, I think it seems like, possibly, I'm just saying it, possibly from the evidence that I have, it seems like Shane wants to kind of, go through the draft. Take this year's 1st rounder, get a home run with it. Next year's 1st rounder, get a home run with it. Get maybe 2025's 1st round. Get a if he can hit it with 2023, 24, and 25, the 1st and 2nd rounders, there's 6 more solid studs he's adding to this roster, right? Maybe get a free agent here, a free agent there, right? To add to the team. Right, it seems like that might be the way he might want to go. Right, so we got 4 guys basically we're going to be drafting in the top 100. All right, hopefully those can be 4 difference makers for the Giants. Now, I mean, the one thing is we drafted a Zudu last year. Of course, third round, he got injured. So there's a possibility they have inklings that they might want to have him be a starting guard for the team. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully the guy can stay healthy. Once again, remains to be seen. But I mean, if Shane can hit it out of the park with 3 out of these top 4 picks that we got, add 3 guys to the puzzle, right? Next year, get another 2 or 3 guys and another 2, those holes that we have, whenever you say depth, right? Those are usually the 4th round picks, 4th, 5th round picks, later on. We got plenty of depth draft capital, right? So we can always add depth. If you're looking for a starting cornerback, another guy have a wide receiver, interior offensive line help. We need an inside linebacker, right? You might need a couple interior. You might want to get a center. You might want to get another guard. Got to get a wide receiver. I don't know if we want to go another tight end. I don't know. A cornerback, inside linebacker. There's 5, 6, 7 pieces there to the puzzle. Now we can maybe get 3 or so this year, get another 3 or so next year, right? So after a couple of years, we might have, it's going to be a process. So I'm not sure if what Shane's looking at and all, if he's going to want to, would these guys help out at Higgins and Aiyuk and Hopkins? Oh, sure, absolutely. But I mean, once again, I'm not exactly sure if that's how they want to, he wants to go about doing it. Now, I mean, I'm just going to Pro Football Focus. They 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, the top 7 wide receivers that they have, according to their rankings, right? They got Jakobi Meyers, and this is different. Let's see. I went to, where did I go? Spot Track. They got they got their own list of guys here. I mean, there's Sterling Shepard, right? Nelson Aguilar. I mean, there's DJ Chark, who was with the Lions, okay? But there's Randall Cobb, who's 32 years old. Marvin Jones, who's almost 33 years old. Julio Jones, who's 34 years old. Alan Lazard, from Green Bay. Then we got Jakobi Meyers. So PFF, right? You got Jakobi Meyers, all right? But he's basically like a slot guy. That's not something the Giants really, I don't think really wind up needing, I think they're kind of looking for maybe guys more on the outside that can kind of stretch the field. PFF also projects him to be 4-year deal for $16 million a season. Okay. Now, as I said, I don't see the Giants trying to dish out that much for a slot guy, a guy who played most of his snaps in the slot. Right. Then there's Juju Smith. Okay. Juju. He had a good year with the Chiefs, but then once again, he's got Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball. Travis Kelce takes some, takes a lot of attention from the defense. But Juju had a very nice season. Okay, he had 78 receptions, 933 receiving yards. So they gave him a lot of incentives. He got a $1.5 million for the amount of catches he got, $1.5 million for 933 receiving yards. He got paid another $1.5 million for being more than 65% of the offensive snaps. So a lot of his was based on production. Okay, a lot of incentives. Okay. Now the thing is with him, he's only 26. Okay, so he's still relatively young. All right. Now I don't. He also seems to be a little bit of a little childish, shall we say? Some of his tweets and stuff like that. So you gotta be careful. Because when you tweet, right, it goes out there. Okay, it goes out there, and all it has to do is, all Joe Shane has to hear it or see it one time or this or that or something else, and that just might close the door on Juju coming to the Giants. I'm not sure if that's exactly what the Giants want. Right, that may not be the type of person they want to have coming to their team. Right, there's Odell Beckham Jr. Of course, he's on the wrong side of 30. He keeps getting injured all the time. Michael Thomas, who's he'll be 30 very soon. The dude's a phenomenal wide receiver. He's just the past couple of years he's had his injury problems. Okay, but the guy is phenomenal. He really, really, really good. Spot Track's got him $12.5 million a year. right? 1 year, $12.5 million contract. That's what Pro Football Focus, that's what they got in that, $12.5 million. But I mean, once again, he's 30. I don't know if the Giants are going to want to bring in a 30-year-old guy, pay him $10, $15 million a year, and he had some injury history. And the Giants aren't I don't think are there yet. DJ Shark. Now the thing is with him, he's 26. He had a very good year with the Lions. Okay, so I mean, but once again, Pro Football Focus has him at like almost $12 million a year. Okay, 3 years, $11.67 million a year. Right? I mean, but this past season he missed weeks 4 through 11 due to injury, but he finished the year quite strong as the Lions turned their season around down the stretch. From weeks 12 to the end of the season, Shark earned a 72.5 receiving grade. Very, very good. I mean, there's Alan Lazard, Paris Campbell, I mean, obviously, don't forget there's Darius Slayton out there still. I mean, I said Richie James, but Sterling Shepard, right? It's going to be interesting to see. Very, very interesting to see how Shane goes about, what's he going to do? I mean, because remember last year, basically our big, we didn't have much money. So our big splash last year was bringing Glowinski in. 3 years, $18 million. But, right, I mean, certainly did an admirable job. I mean, was he one of the greatest guards of all time? No. Was he an all-pro? No. But he was there every game, right? Glowinski, right? I think he was the only guy that played every game, right? So that might be what we're looking at here because, I mean, the Giants have a lot of guys of their own they're trying to sign, maybe bring back, as I said, Julian Love. I don't know, we're going to bring back Feliciano and Gates. James, Slayton, Shepard, obviously Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. We can extend Andrew Thomas, Xavier McKinney, possibly. So, I mean, there's a lot of, just because we got some money certainly doesn't mean we're going to be going to Gurley world, right? Spending all the money on free agency. That's something obviously that got us in trouble when Gettleman was here, right? What you want to do is you got 11 draft picks, right? We had 11 last year, 11 this year. You want to, right, build through the draft, get you guys, hopefully draft correctly, right? Develop the guys, keep the guys, okay? And you sprinkle in a little bit of free agency, a little this here, maybe a little that thing, So it's going to be interesting to see where Shane winds up going. But I don't see the Giants going out and, we have a little bit of, we have a building block right now. I mean, obviously a wide receiver would be huge. What I keep hearing though, through all these gurus, I don't stand there for 10 hours a day watching every wide receiver in college football. I don't do that. Not going to do that. That's not me. Right. But I listen to podcasts and all that, and YouTube, and so a lot of these guys know a lot what they're talking about. Half the time they're talking, I don't know what the hell they're talking, just their football language that they talk to each other. But a lot of what I hear is that you got the top 6, 7, 8 wide receivers, okay, which could possibly go maybe all in the first round or close to the first round, 5 or 6 of them. A lot of cornerbacks I could possibly heard could go in the first round as well, too. But a lot of the wide receivers, the top like 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, then after that, well, just what I'm hearing, there's a lot of good wide receivers after that, but they're kind of more like specialized, right? Like after you got, the top, like Addison's gone, and, those guys. They're good, but they're kind of like specialized. Like you might have somebody who can go, who's maybe tall, can stretch the field, who's deep, all right? But maybe he can't run good patterns. You might have somebody who's good in the slot or something like that, but that's all he can do. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you got some of these guys early on who may be good in multiple things, but after that first wave of receivers goes, you're going to get more specialized guys, right? So, it's going to be interesting to see where he wants to spend his his first round pick on. Because so many ways we can go. As I said, I heard there's a lot of good cornerbacks. I keep hearing it could be like 6, 7, 8 cornerbacks maybe going in the first round. There's not a lot of real phenomenal offensive line blue chippers where this guy's a Hall of Famer. I'm not hearing a lot of that, right? So there may not be a lot of offensive linemen going in the first round, interior linebackers in the first round. Some good wide receivers in the first round, cornerbacks, right? There's like, I don't know, Robinson's the running back. He might go in the first round, right? But there may not be anybody other running backs. It might be like 4 quarterbacks go. But as far as if the Giants try to get a wide receiver later on, right, second round, third round or so, but there might be more of a specialized somebody like maybe stretch the field or something like that. But it is, and once again, it's a building process, right? So if each year, with the talent we have, with the salary cap we have, and all that and whatnot, we're not going to be set this year. You're never going to be set. It doesn't matter. Even the 1972 Dolphins who went 17-0, I'm sure if you talk to their coach Don Shula, do you have holes on your team? He'd be like, yeah, I think there's a couple spots we might want to upgrade. So it's always the way it is. But like with your bigger thing, like I said, last year we got Daniel Bellinger, we got Isaiah Hodgins, right? We added Wan'Dale Robinson last year alone, right? With we didn't blow the bank on any free agents. We didn't spend the first round pick on a wide receiver. Last year alone, we added 3 pieces to the puzzle. Okay, as far as receiving core, none of the guys are really super stupendous or nothing like that, but they're 3 guys you can build with, right? Can we add another one this year, right? That's not asking too much, right? Then maybe I'm just talking out of my head here, man. And then maybe 2024, you had another guy, right? And in 22, so in 2 or 3 more years, you might have, 4, 5, 6 guys. You could take 1 or 2 of them off the field, put another 2 out there, right? So you might have, interchangeable parts. You can put a bunch of guys out there, right? Slowly process. But I said, we got 3 pieces to the puzzle last year. That's not too bad, right? So, but I certainly don't see us trading for. If we were kicking in the door last year, if we went to the championship game in Philadelphia and we lost 30-28 to them, you got to tip your cap to the Eagles. They're a good team. To me, they were the best team. I can't freaking stand them. The best team, without question, to me. All-around team, all-around talent. I'm not going to say coaching, but all-around talent. They were the best team last year. Absolutely, without question. So we were in Philly last year in the championship game, or even in the playoffs, when we lost them in the divisional round. We lost to, was it 17,000-2? You lose count after a while. But if we went there, right? If we lost, 24-21 or something, if we, oh damn, we were freaking this close. We were on the road, hostile territory. We lost, you could see that, but you can say, we're a little far away from, competing with the elite, right? So it's going to take a couple of years. I don't see him spending big time draft capital or big time money on a wide receiver this year. I'm sorry, for a free agent or to trading for one. Because if you got to trade for one of those guys, you got to trade away a first round pick, and then you got to dish out the money. I don't see him doing that. And I don't see him taking one of these big time free agents where it's going to cost you maybe 10, 12 million or so like that. I just don't see him. It seems like he's going to hopefully build more through the draft. But it'll be interesting to see, once again, is that, if we get a little something as far as a free agent. Like I said, last year was Glowinski, right? We got Glowinski. We didn't have much money to spend, but we went out, we got Glowinski, okay? Who's it going to be this year? We're going to get maybe one little treat, right? Be interesting to see. Where he wants to spend his money. But it's been 49 minutes, guys. I got 2 thumbs up. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. So if anybody spent any time at all watching this, thank you so much. Or anybody spends any time watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys rock. And as always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.